Jason stood at the edge of the alien market, watching the sunset on a world that was not Earth. The skies were purple, the ground soft like rubber, and everything smelled faintly of metal and flowers. He had been stationed on this alien planet for 4 months, helping with peacekeeping after the long human-Saharan war. Things were quiet now, or so he thought. His alien friend, Varnak, approached him with a strange look in his eyes. Varnak was tall, with deep blue skin, sharp eyes, and 4 arms. He always spoke in a calm and respectful tone. "Jason," Varnak said, "today I offer you a gift, a sign of our bond." Jason smiled politely. "You didn't have to, Varnak." But his smile faded when he saw what the gift was. Behind Varnak stood a girl barefoot, wearing torn cloth barely covering her. She looked no older than 20. Her hair was messy, her eyes full of fear. She kept her head down, arms folded tight. "Hey, slave?" Jason asked, shocked. Varnak nodded, confused by Jason's reaction. "Yes, she is yours now." Many would consider this a great honor. Jason stared at her. "She's not an object. She's a person." Doc frowned. "This is tradition." Jason turned to the girl. "Tease, what's your name?" She didn't answer. She looked like she hadn't spoken in years. Jason gently took off his jacket and placed it over her shoulders. "You're not a gift," he said softly. "You're safe now." He took her hand and led her away, ignoring the curious eyes of the alien crowd. Back at his small quarters, Jason gave her food, water, and a blanket. She ate silently, eyes wide like she expected to be punished for every bite. "I'm Jason," he said, sitting across from her. "You don't have to be scared." Still, she said nothing. He brought her clean clothes, simple but warm, and left the room to give her privacy. A few minutes later, he heard something crying. Jason returned slowly and saw her sitting on the bed, holding the clothes in her hands, like they were made of gold. Tears rolled down her face. "I don't understand," she whispered. Her voice was soft, fragile. It was the first time he heard her speak. "Understand what?" Jason asked gently. "Why?" she asked. "Why would you give me clothes?" Jason knelt beside her. "'Cause you deserve to be treated like a human being, or whatever your kind is, not like a slave." She looked at him for the first time, eyes trembling. "My name is Nada." He smiled. "Nice to meet you, Nada." That night, Jason couldn't sleep. Something about her felt strange, just mysterious. She wasn't just a random slave. She had a kind of calm strength, even in her silence. Eyes carried deep pain, but also a spark of something more. Jason pulled out his datapad and searched the slave registry. Nara's name wasn't listed. That was odd. Then he noticed something else. On her right arm, partly covered by her sleeve, was a strange symbol, a black mark, like a tattoo, but old and faded. He gently asked her about it. Nara looked away. "Don't ask about that. Is it dangerous?" he asked. She didn't answer. Jason nodded. "Okay, I won't push." The next morning, things got even stranger. Jason went to the market to get more supplies. When he returned, the door to his room was slightly open. Inside, everything was untouched except one thing. Nara's old clothes were gone. He looked around, confused. Why would someone take rags? That night, Nara sat quietly by the window, watching. "The sky I was taken when I was 5, she said suddenly. "From my home. I don't remember their faces." Jason listened. "I don't know what love is," she said. "But thank you for the clothes, for not touching me." Jason walked over and sat beside her. "You don't have to say anything," he said. "You don't owe me anything." She looked at him again, and for the first time, "Okay," she smiled. Just a little. Then something moved in the darkness outside the window. Jason turned quickly, hand on his weapon, but there was nothing there. When he looked back, Nara was staring at the stars, and her eyes glowed for a second. Just a second. Jason didn't say anything, but in his heart, he knew this girl was not what she seemed. Jason woke early. The alien city outside his window was quiet, still covered in soft purple mist. Nara was already awake, sitting near the window again. Her back was straight, hands in her lap, her eyes staring far into the sky. "Did you sleep?" Jason asked. Gently, she shook her head. "I don't know how to sleep when I feel safe. It's new." Jason made some tea and handed her a warm cup. She held it carefully, like she was afraid to break it. After a while, Jason asked, "Can I ask something?" She looked at him, silent, but listening. "Is your name really Nara?" She hesitated. Her lips moved, but no words came. "My name," she whispered, "was given to me by them, the ones who took me." Jason sat down across from her. "What's your real name?" She looked away. "I don't remember. I was too young. They made me forget." Jason felt something heavy in his chest. She had lost more than just freedom. She had lost her identity. Later that day, Jason tried to contact the Alien Records Office. He wanted to check Nara's background and maybe find her real family, but the system gave an error. Access denied. He tried again. Same result. That wasn't normal. Even low-level slave files were usually open, but hers, locked tight. Jason began to worry. Why would someone hide her record? That night, Nara showed him a scar on her back. "Spy," marked deep into her skin. "They did this when I was 8, she said. Told me I was cursed, that if I ever ran, others would hunt me." Jason leaned closer. "Can I see it clearly?" He nodded. He took a photo and ran it through his translator. The result shocked him. "Mark of the Lost Royal Line, House Sylvana." Jason's eyes widened. "You're royalty." Nara shook her head. "No, they called me a lie, a fake, a problem. I don't even know if it's real." But Jason knew what he saw. That mark wasn't fake. It was the symbol of an alien royal family, one that had disappeared after a political war years ago. He now understood why her file was locked and why someone might want her forgotten. The next day, strange things began to happen. Jason noticed 2 alien men following him in the market. They weren't buying anything, just watching. At night, he heard buzzing outside his window, like a small drone scanning his room. He turned off the lights and whispered to Nara, "We're being watched." Her face didn't change. She just said, "It always happens when someone is kind to me. They think I'm dangerous." Jason thought for a moment. "Do you remember anything else? Something important?" Nara closed her eyes. "Once, I saw a woman with eyes like mine. She tried to take me. They killed her." Jason's heart pounded. That woman was probably from a real family. Someone had tried to rescue her and failed. Later that evening, Jason took her to a hidden place beneath the city. An old tunnel, once used during the war. "There, away from eyes and ears," he said. "Nara, I think you're not just a lost girl. I think you're the key to something big." "I don't want to be a key," she whispered. "I just want to be free." Jason nodded. "Then we'll find the truth together." She looked at him. "Why are you helping me?" Jason smiled. "'Cause when someone gives you clothes and food, it should never come with chains. Just respect." Nara's eyes filled with tears again, but this time they didn't fall. She was stronger now. Her voice was steady. "If I remember my real name," she said, "promise me one thing." "What?" "Don't call me a princess." Jason chuckled. "Deal." That night, someone broke into Jason's room. Nothing valuable was taken, but the photo of Nara's back, the royal mark, was gone. Whoever had come didn't want money. They wanted secrets, and they now knew. Jason had one. Jason paced back and forth in his small room, holding the datapad tightly in his hand. The photo of Nara's back, the spiral symbol, was gone. Deleted. Someone had broken in, but they didn't take anything else. Credits. No weapons, not even food. Delete that one file. He looked over at Nara. She sat calmly on the bed, watching him with quiet eyes. They know, Jason said. They know who you are. Nara looked away. I don't even know who I am. Jason sat beside her. That mark is from the House of Sylvana. They were royalty, weren't they? She nodded, slowly. A long time ago, before the Empire took over. My people say they were traitors, that their blood is cursed. Jason shook his head. No, it's not cursed. It's powerful. That's why they tried to erase it. Nara touched the back of her neck, as if the mark still burned. I used to have dreams, she whispered, of a tall palace. Golden walls, silver trees. I thought they were just dreams, but now I think they were memories. Jason's heart beat faster. The dreams were real. She had once lived in that palace. She was more than just a slave. She was a royal heir, maybe, the last one. Jason needed answers. He went to his alien friend Varnak the next day. Stee tall, blue-skinned warrior stood at the edge of a canyon, training with his blade. Varnak, Jason said, I need to talk. Varnak turned, his face serious. Is it about the girl? Jason nodded. She's not just a girl. She's part of the lost royal bloodline. Varnak's hands froze. His expression darkened. I hoped you would never find out, Varnak said quietly. Jason stared at him. You knew? Varnak sighed. Yes, I gave her to you to protect her. Not as a gift, but as a way to hide her. The moment she entered your care, they stopped looking. Jason was confused. Who's they? Varnak looked around, making sure no one was near. Then he leaned closer. The ones who overthrew her family. They fear her blood. If she rises, the old followers will rise too. That's why they hide her, silence her, erase her. Jason felt cold. Why didn't you tell me the truth? Because truth is dangerous, Varnak said, even for you. Back at home, Jason told Nara everything. She didn't cry. She didn't panic. She just said one word. I knew. Jason blinked. You did? I always felt it, Nara said. When I was a child, I knew I wasn't like the others. I saw flashes in my dreams, voices calling me by a different name. What name? Jason asked. She closed her eyes. Solana. Jason whispered the name. Slina. It suits you. For the first time, she smiled without sadness. That night, things took a dark turn. A message arrived on Jason's datapad. No sender. Just text. Give us the girl, or we come for her. Jason showed it to Nara. They found us. She said, we'll leave the city. Jason replied. Go somewhere safe. But Nara shook her head. They'll follow us everywhere. There's only one way out. What way? Jason asked. I have to return, she said. To the palace. Ruins. Jason stared at her. Why would you go back? Because the truth is buried there, she said. I am truly Solana. The ruins will recognize me. Varnak arranged transport. A silent hovercraft left at night, crossing mountains and deserts until they reached a hidden valley. There, buried in the ground, were the broken remains of the Sylvana Palace. Silver trees, now dead. Gold bricks turned to dust. But the walls still stood. Nara stepped forward. Steps were slow, careful. Then, something happened. The broken gate, untouched for years, opened on its own. Jason stared in shock. What? The palace remembers me, Nara whispered. Inside, they found more than ruins. They found records, holograms, and royal seals, proof of her identity. Her parents. Her birth. One seal lit up when she touched it. Solana, daughter of the light moon, it said. Jason smiled. You found your name. Naran, Solana said tall. She wasn't a slave, okay, anymore. She was a queen in hiding. The wind howled through the ruined palace, as Solana once called. Nara stood in silence. The walls, though broken, still glowed faintly with the touch of her hand. Jason watched her from a distance. She no longer looked like a slave. She looked like someone who remembered who she truly was. You're really her, Jason said quietly. Solana nodded. I didn't believe it, but the palace does. Jason held a data pad full of royal records they found inside. Names, family trees, and one important thing, a list of people who were once loyal to her family. But there was also something else, a list of traitors. Names that betrayed House Sylvana. And one of those names Jason had seen before. Barnok. Jason's single quotes. Heart sank. Was his friend, one of the people who helped bring her down. They left the ruins before sunrise. Jason guided the hovercraft, cutting through the misty forest. Solana sat beside him, her eyes on the horizon. Suddenly, the control screen blinked. Incoming signal. Jason tapped it. Static filled the air. Then a deep voice spoke. You were warned, human. Now we come for both of you. The screen shut off. Jason cursed. Dave tracked us. Before Solana could speak, a blinding light appeared behind them. A small black ship was flying fast. No ID signal. Hold on, Jason shouted. He drove faster through the trees, but the enemy ship fired a shot. The blast hit near their hovercraft, shaking it hard. Solana screamed as the vehicle flipped and crashed into the trees. Jason woke up first. Dizzy, head bleeding. He looked around. Smoke filled the air. The hovercraft was broken, half buried in dirt. Solana, he shouted. He found her lying nearby, barely moving. She had a deep cut on her arm, but she was alive. We need to move, he whispered. They'll be here soon. He helped her up, and they stumbled through the forest. They could hear voices, Kalian soldiers, footsteps. They were being hunted. Hours passed. Jason and Solana hid in a cave. He wrapped her wound with a torn cloth, trying to stop the bleeding. I'm sorry, he whispered. This is all my fault. Solana shook her head. No, you helped me remember who I am. I'd rather die as Solana than live as a forgotten girl. Jason looked into her eyes. You're not dying? I won't let that happen. Suddenly, a shadow appeared at the cave entrance. Jason jumped up, gun raised, but the figure spoke. Peace, human. I mean no harm. It was Varnak. Jason pointed the gun at him. You were on the traitor list. Varnak nodded slowly. Yes. My father betrayed her family, not me. Jason didn't lower his weapon. I was a child when it happened, Varnak continued, but I swore to protect her. That's why I placed her with you. I knew they'd never suspect a human. Solana stood up, weak but firm. Then help us, now or leave. Varnak bowed. I came with allies, hidden rebels, still loyal to House Sylvana. Behind him, more shadows stepped into the light. Alien fighters, wearing old royal emblems. Jason still didn't trust them fully, but they had no choice. The rebels led Jason and Solana through a hidden tunnel in the mountains. It was old, dark, and cold, but safe. Inside, the rebel leader, a tall woman named Kaylin, spoke directly to Solana. Your return will not be easy, she said. There will be war, blood, pain. I don't want war, Solana replied. But you carry the blood of Sylvana, Kaylin said, and that means others will choose war for you. Jason looked at Solana. She was silent. Her eyes were full of fear, but also something else, strength. That night, as they rested near a small fire, Jason sat beside Solana. We keep running, but they keep coming, he said. Solana nodded. They won't stop until I'm gone. Jason took her hand. Then we stop running. We fight. She looked at him, her voice soft. I'm scared. So am I, Jason replied. But if we stand together, maybe they'll fear us too. Sadly, Kaylin approached. There's someone you should meet, she said. She led them into a deeper chamber. Inside was a chair old, glowing with symbols. A throne. Jason asked. No, Kaylin said. A memory chair. Shows your bloods. Truth. Solana stepped forward. She sat down. The chair lit up, and then a golden light filled the cave. Solana's past played in the air, her mother's voice, her real name, her final promise. Jason watched in silence. The girl he had once been given as a gift was no longer lost. She was a queen returning to life, and her enemies would soon know it. The glowing chair dimmed slowly, but the light stayed in Solana's eyes. She sat in silence, breathing softly, her hands trembling. The memories had returned, some painful, some beautiful. Her mother's voice, her father's face, the palace filled with music and light. All of it was real. Jason stood beside her, watching her closely. Are you okay? He asked. She looked at him and nodded slowly. Yes, I remember everything now. Kaylin, the rebel leader, stepped forward. Then you know your duty. The people need you. The blood of Savannah must rise again. Solana stood up. I don't want power. I want peace. But I know peace won't come unless I fight for it. Jason smiled. Then we'll fight together. Later that night, Kaylin took Jason aside while Solana rested. There's something else you should know, she said quietly. You're not the only one protecting her. Jason frowned. What do you mean? Kaylin's face was serious. There is another. Someone who's been helping us from inside the enemy's palace. A prince. Jason blinked. A prince? Yes. Kaylin nodded. Son of the man who betrayed Solana's family. But he's not like his father. He's been passing us information for years. He wants to fix what his bloodline broke. Jason felt a wave of doubt. Can he be trusted? Kaylin paused. That depends. He claims he once knew Solana as a child. The next day, the rebels led Jason and Solana deep into the mountain caves. There, a quiet chamber lit with crystal lights, stood a young alien Meltall with silver eyes and a scar across his cheek. He wore simple robes, not royal armor. He bowed as Solana entered. You are alive. Solana stared at him, confused. Do I know you? He smiled gently. I was only 10 when we last met. My name is Tyran, son of Lord Karthus. Solana's eyes narrowed. Your father killed mine. Tyran didn't deny it. Yes, and I will carry that shame forever. But I'm not him. Jason stepped between them, protective. Why are you helping her? Tyran looked at Jason. Because I loved her. Even then, when we were just children, I remember hiding with her in the gardens during the night attacks. Solana looked surprised. A small memory flickered in her mind fire in the palace. Someone pulling her by the hand, hiding behind glowing trees. That boy had silver eyes. It was you, she whispered. Tyren nodded. I failed to save you then. Let me help now. Over. The next few days, Tyran shared everything he knew. The current rulers were weak and full of fear. They knew the return of Sylvanas' blood would cause rebellion in the outer worlds. The people still loved the old royal family, even after all these years. Many still believe in you, Tyran said to Solana. They wait for your signal. Kaylin agreed. If you return, the people will rise. Jason stayed quiet. He didn't fully trust her but he saw how Solana listens to him, not with love, but with familiarity. Kay shared a past Jason could never touch that night. Jason sat alone near the fire. Solana came and sat beside him. You're quiet, she said. Jason forced a smile. Just thinking about Tyran. Jason shrugged. He seems to know you better than I do. Solana looked at him. Maybe. But he knew the old me. The scared little girl. Jason looked at her. Okay. And I know the one who survived. The one who became strong. She smiled, gently taking his hand. You both matter to me, she said softly. But you gave me freedom. Jason's heart calmed, but peace didn't last long. A rebel scout ran into the camp with panic on his face. They're coming, he shouted. Elite guards. 5 ships. Full force. Solana stood up. They found us again. Jason looked at Tyrion. Did you lead them here? Tyrion's face turned pale. No, I swear. I didn't tell anyone, but Kaelin wasn't sure. We moved now, split into groups. They get her, everything is lost. Chaos filled the cave. Packs were thrown together. Weapons charged. Rebels spread out, ready to run and fight. Solana grabbed Jason's hand. Promise me one thing. Anything. If I don't make it, don't let them erase my name again. Jason held her close. We won't run anymore. This time, we fight. As the sound of ships grew louder outside, and dust fell from the cave walls, Jason, Solana, Kay, and Tyran stood together. 3 bloodlines. 3 paths. 1 destiny. The storm had come, and none of them would ever be the same again. The mountain shook as enemy ships landed outside. The cave filled with red warning lights, and the sound of alarms echoed in every corner. Jason grabbed Solana's hand tightly. We need to move. Rebel leader Kaelin shouted to her fighters. Protect the air. Fall back to the deep chamber. Solana, Jason, Taryn, and a few rebels ran through the narrow tunnels, guided only by small blue lights on the walls. Behind them, the sound of footsteps and laser blasts grew louder. They're inside the caves, Tyron said. Solana looked around. Where does this tunnel lead? To the trial chamber, Kaelin said. There's no exit from there. But there is something else. Asan frowned. What do you mean? Kaelin looked at Solana. It's a trial of truth. A test that proves a royal's blood and heart. They reached a large stone door at the end of the tunnel. It opened slowly, revealing a glowing circular room. Crystals lined the walls. Pulsing with light dot in the center stood an ancient chair made of stone and silver. This is it, Kaelin said. Only those of royal blood can sit in the trial seat. Okay. Jason helped Solana walk forward. Her body was tired, her wounds still fresh, but her steps were steady. What does the trial do? She asked. Kaelin spoke gently. It shows the truth. To everyone. Jason looked worried. Truth about what? Everything, Kaelin replied. Your past, your thoughts, your pain. Even your secrets. Solana took a deep breath. Then, let them see. She sat in the chair. The crystals glowed brighter, and then the chamber filled with light. Visions floated in the air like mist. Images of Solana's childhood appeared, her laughing with her parents, running through the golden palace, hiding during the attack. Then came the dark memories, chains, beatings, lonely nights in cages. Her cries, her silence, her pain. The rebels watched in silence. Many looked away, tears in their eyes. Then came Jason. His memories flashed too when he first met her. The day he gave her clothes, the gentle smile she gave him, the moment he realized she was more than a gift. Finally, Tyron's memories appeared. He was a boy, crying as his father ordered soldiers to kill the royal family. He tried to stop them, but failed. Pain's guilt burned inside him for years. His dream was not to be king, but to undo the damage his bloodline caused. When the visions ended, silence filled the room. Solana opened her eyes slowly. I showed you who I really am, she said. Now you must decide what I become. Kaelin stepped forward, then kneeled. You are the true daughter of Sylvana. You carry pain, but also strength. We will follow you. One by one, the rebels kneeled. Even Tyran, only Jason remained standing. Solana looked at him. What about you? Jason smiled. You don't need me to kneel. You already have my loyalty. Solana reached out and took his hand. Suddenly, a loud explosion rocked the chamber. The enemy had broken through. Kalen ordered, "Hold them off. You must protect the queen." Jason turned to Solana. "Stay here. I'll fight with them." But Solana stood too. "I fight with you." Ren pulled out his weapon. "They won't expect all of us together. That's our advantage." Rebels lined the tunnel entrance, ready as enemy soldiers entered. They were met with fire and fury. Solana didn't hide. She stood at the front, using a staff made from the trial seat's crystal. It glowed in her hands, power flowing through her. Jason fought beside her, blasting enemies, covering her every step. Tyran protected the sides, moving with sharp speed and silent focus. The battle was short, but fierce, and, when it ended, the chamber was quiet again. The enemy had fallen. Later, as the rebels cleaned the battlefield, Solana stood in the center of the room. "I passed the trial," she said, "but my real test has just begun." Kalen stepped forward. "What will you do now?" Solana looked at her people. "We take back what was stolen. Not just my family's name, but freedom for everyone. No more slaves, no more lies." Tears filled the chamber. Jason stepped beside her. "You know this means war?" Solana nodded. "Yes, but this time we fight not just for a throne, but for truth." As the crystal lights glowed behind her, Solana, the girl once given as a gift, stood not as a victim, but as a leader. And the galaxy would soon know, ... the true queen had returned. The stars above the mountain base shined brighter than ever. For the first time in many years, hope had returned to the hearts of the forgotten. Solana, once a lost girl with no name, now stood as a symbol of truth, freedom, and strength. The rebels had gathered around her. Jason stood close by, his armor worn and dusty, but his eyes steady. Tyran stood on the other side, calm, loyal, and ready. Kalen raised a hand. "They fear us now. Their spies are silent. Their ships keep distance." Solana looked at them all. "But we will not hide anymore. We take our message to the stars." Jason nodded. "You're ready?" "No," Solana said softly. "We are." "Ready?" The next day, they left the mountains and traveled to the outer city's places, still ruled by fear and lies. Solana walked openly through the streets. The people stared at her, unsure, until they saw the royal mark on her back, glowing like fire. An old woman fell to her knees. "It's her, the daughter of the light moon." One by one, the people bowed. Solana did not raise her hand to command. She raised it to help them stand. "You don't serve me," she said. "You rise with me." News spread fast, across planets and space stations. People whispered her name again. Solana Sylvana, the last royal, the true heir, the one who survived. The rulers of the current empire grew afraid. They sent warnings, then threats. Jason read the message out loud. "If Solana continues, we will destroy her and anyone who follows." Solana didn't flinch. "Let them come. We'll no longer live in fear." Soon, a battle was set. The empire sent warships to crush the rebellion before it grew stronger. Tired, but they were not ready for what came next. Solana had not only awakened the rebels, she had awakened the people. Farmers, workers, ex-soldiers, and even former slaves all came together. They wore no crown, no royal armor, but they carried courage. Jason led a squad of humans and aliens alike. Tyran took charge of strategy, guiding ships in space. Kalen commanded the ground forces, and Solana, Calum, she stood in the center of it, all unarmed, but full of power. Before the battle began, She gave one final message, broadcast across the stars. I was once given as a gift, she said. Not of love, but control. I wore chains for years. Not just on my body, but on my heart. But now, I break those chains, not just for me, but for all who are told they are less. You are not less. You are enough, Helena, and if I must fight to prove it, I will. The speech shook hearts everywhere, even enemy soldiers hesitated. Some dropped their weapons. Some joined her. The battle lasted 4 hours. Fire in the sky. Ships spinning. Ground shaking. Jason fought bravely, protecting those around him. At one point, he was cornered till Solana appeared, pulling him to safety. You saved me once, she said. Now it's my turn. Together, they reached the enemy's control tower. Tyron joined them, badly injured, but still standing. They faced the last general of the Empire, a tall creature in black armor. You are nothing, he spat. A weak girl with dreams. Solana stepped forward. No, I am a woman with truth. And then, with one final blow from her staff, glowing with light, the general fell. The war was over. Months later, peace returned. Solana did not take a throne made of gold. She built a hall made of stone and crystal, open to all. A place of justice, not fear. Jason stayed by her side, not as a soldier, but as her friend, the one who believed in her when no one else did. Terran returned to help rebuild what his father had broken, and Kaelin became the new voice of the people, strong and wise. One evening, as the stars shined over the city, Jason asked Solana, Do you ever think about that day when Varnok gave you to me? Solana smiled. Yes, I was given like an object, but you gave me something better. What, clothes? She laughed. And freedom. Jason laughed too. Strange how small kindness can change the stars. Solana looked into the sky. I was born in chains, she said. Teen, but I will die free. And so, the girl who was once silent, broken, and forgotten, became a voice for millions. Not a queen above others, but a light beside them, beyond the chains.